I'd like to ask John Hyde from Save Ashfield Park and the WestCon Action Group to come on.
Look, unlike Matt, I don't have a nice PowerPoint. I've just got some notes. So I'm John Hyde from Save Ashfield Park, and I'm so delighted to be here tonight because the parks, I think, are a prime target for WestConnex. I've been asked to speak primarily about WestConnex this evening. And I think that Ashfield Park, which I've been involved with, and Petersham Park are the jewels of the inner west. You only have to walk through them to really appreciate them. So it's fantastic that this organisation's been, or this meeting's been organised for tonight. 12 months ago, I became a community activist for the first time in my life. And perhaps there are other people in this room in exactly the same position. And it happened at a public meeting convened by the WestConnex Delivery Authority at Ashfield Town Hall exactly 1 year ago on the 16th of December 2013. And I think that meeting was really quite angry because it was a public relations exercise by the WDA rather than information giving. And so it got pretty irate. But one of the things that actually became apparent from that was the proposal to take 10 to 20 metres off Ashfield Park to put in a tunnel portal. And so that's what motivated me initially to get involved. And most people get involved in activism through concern about local things that affect them directly or closely. However, I won't go into the story, but we were able to save that Ashfield Park. In June, Rose Minister Duncan Gay came to Ashfield Park and announced the park would not be touched by WestConnex. By this time, of course, we found out more about WestConnex, built up a head of steam, and so Save Ashfield Park, I think, should be renamed Save Ashfield because we moved to opposing WestConnex in its entirety. So what is WestConnex and why should we oppose it? Well, Matt's given an overview of the WestConnex, but in principle, it's a very simple, seductively simple idea. It's a road, primarily underground, to connect the M4 and the M5. How simple is that? Well, it's not simple at all. You might say, well, that's a good idea. We need to tackle road congestion in Sydney. We need more roads. And putting the road underground means it's not on the surface. It's like, I liken it to a fibre optic cable concept where the traffic is magically whisked from Parramatta to Sydney Airport, which seems to be the primary destination. So why oppose WestConnex? Well, first of all, it's a monumental waste of public money. And by public money, I mean our money, taxpayer money, and if you use WestConnex, the tolls. It's well known that to build roads does not solve traffic congestion. It induces more traffic. But when WestConnex is completed, if it's ever completed, it will be full within months, and the congestion will be as bad as ever, but the traffic will be worse than ever. So it's going to be obsolete by the time it's built. The estimates of cost are something like $15 to $20 billion. To put that into perspective, the state government saying the sale of the poles and wires will yield $20 billion. So you could say, okay, we sell the poles and wires, and in return we get one road, nothing more. This road will also require ongoing taxpayer subsidy. And a study's been done on this, auspiced by the Greens, that it will cost us $500 million each and every year to subsidise this road. It's what that's called shadow tolls, but it's really taxpayer subsidy because they can't make the numbers add up. This is a phenomenally expensive road. Drilling these tunnels is something like 2.5 times the cost per kilometre of the M7. And they can't set the tolls high enough where people won't pay them, and they can't set the tolls high enough where there won't be political uproar. And so we will be required to subsidise it forevermore, which would distort the state budget and divert funds from other things that could be done with that money. The environmental cost is enormous on WestConnex. air pollution, but energy costs as well. I mean, if you run a tunnel, you've got to light the tunnel, you have to ventilate the tunnel with fans, you had to have pumps in the tunnel to pump out the water seepage. So the electricity consumption is enormous. The ventilation stacks, the state government refuses to filter the stacks, and because they know that the energy requirement and the cost of providing that energy will tilt the economy of the tunnel even more out of kilter. So we're all going to be required to, so this is an outright reason to oppose WestCon, because we're all going to have to pay for it, whether or not we use it. At the local level, a tunnel requires portals for traffic to exit and enter, and we actually heard that there was a portal proposed just down the road here. Those portals will discharge traffic onto local roads, and they will attract traffic like honey to those portals that people are trying to access the tunnel. The exit portals are a source of air pollution. The stacks are a source of air pollution, but so is the tunnel air portals. And the thing is, the tunnel portals, of course, is pollution at ground level. The traffic going through the tunnel, exiting the portal, pushes air out, pushes polluted air out. But then there's the whole cost of, or the implications of building this thing, because it's going to involve millions of truck movements, bringing in construction material and taking away spoil. And of course those truck roads movements will be on local roads. There will be a requirement for depots, for materials, machinery, workers, vehicles and facilities and so on. And parks would be a primary location for locating those. So that's the overall picture of why I oppose WestConnex. Sorry, I've got to refer to my next heading. Yes. And the connection between WestConnex and the development here, development precincts here. Although the minister's announced a new route for WestConnex, I think there's still going to be implications for you in this area. Firstly, the minister or the government's changed their mind numerous times on the route of this. There's no telling that they won't change it back. And they might change it back under influence of the tenderers who are currently tendering for the M4 East tunnel. Because when you ask the government, well, where are the portals going to be, where are the ventilation stacks going to be, they say, oh, we can't tell you until we've selected the winning tenderer. And then they'll do an environmental impact statement, and next they say, is there a form of consultation? Well, that's just too late, actually, because they've selected the tender, they've selected the route, they've selected all the details of it. An enormous amount of work's gone into the environmental impact statement. Are they going to listen to people in the community about that? I don't think so. The justification for WestConnex, and I was speaking to Urban Growth, one of those nice public relations people just today, and she said, oh, well, you know, well, WestConnex, they say that WestConnex and the Urban Growth Parramatta Road revitalisation is separate on one hand, and then they say they're not. And they say, well, she said today that it really is depending on WestConnex, putting the traffic underground, then there won't be so much traffic on Parramatta Road, and then we can have revitalisation. Well, I've read the concept plan. It doesn't look like much about revitalisation of Parramatta Road. What it's got is 8 development precincts. That's what it's all about. And they're alongside Parramatta rather than on it itself. This won't work without public transport improvements. And to date, there's been nothing proposed apart from paint the one lane on Parramatta Road as a bus lane and run buses on it. Well, buses aren't a mass transit solution. As Matt said, trams are. I'm going to run out of time here. I'm going to try and relate this directly to you. What you'll be most interested here is where the stage 1 M4 East tunnel finishes and what happens to stage 3. Now at the moment we've got stage 3 proposed to run from Haberfield to Anzac Bridge to Camperdown. So you sort of might say, oh, we're all saved in this area. I don't think that's quite true. I think there's no reason to be complacent at all on this. You've got no way of knowing that it's not going to come back and bite you. The government doesn't have the money to build stage 3, in fact. As I say, the total cost of the road is 15 to 20 billion. What they have is 5.3 billion in grants and loans, state and Commonwealth money. That's probably enough to build stages 1 and 2, but we don't really know. Definitely not stage 3. So what you're going to end up is that stage 1 will discharge traffic onto the City West Link and onto Parramatta Road, and that road on Parramatta Road will come past your doors here. So what they're talking about is duplicating Parramatta Road with WestConnex, so you're going to have up to twice as much traffic, and that traffic is going to be going by you here, and with the attendant congestion on the adjoining streets and air pollution. Now, as I've been dinged finally, I will move exactly to my last page. So what can you do? Well, what I suggest is you get organised and stay informed. Don't wait, because it could be too late. And be sceptical about what the government tells you. Got officers from Urban Growth have come, I know, because they mentioned talking to you guys when I spoke to them today, have given assurance that Petersham Park is saved. Well, I want that in writing. We had that from the Minister in writing for Ashfield Park. It won't mean anything until it's in writing. Just decide your purpose. Are you about just saving Petersham Park? Are you about opposing or trying to influence the urban consolidation? Are you about opposing or trying to influence WestConnex? Can you do one way or the other? Be mindful that government can be influenced. Don't believe the line that it can't be. And finally, remember that you're not alone in this. We're friends, neighbours and allies. Sorry I went over time.